Welcome to another tutorial. So guys, in this tutorial we will be learning what are the basics of SQL. So SQL is a standard language for storing, manipulating and retrieving data in databases. What is the importance and why I am covering this in ethical hacking course is because you need to be aware about the syntax and how to use it, because further some attacks like SQL injection will be used. So without understanding the basics, it will not be very fruitful for you. So I thought that I should teach you the basics of SQL. So we'll understand what the syntax is and see a small demo regarding it as well. So learning SQL is not very difficult. It is pretty simple. It is like English language. Alright, so the very first thing that we are going to learn is the select statement. It is basically used to select data from a database, right? Now let's see a demo of this side by side. So just search MySQL online and click this first link. So it is MySQL version online. Okay, so you can simply click on start MySQL online free version. So here, even if I don't tell you the syntax that what it means, you will be able to figure out yourself. So let's try to understand. The first statement is create table test. In parenthesis, it is given ID integer and title varchar. So what it does is that it creates a table with the name of test, and that test table has two columns. One of the column is ID and the second column is title. So this is the type of ID. ID is an integer like 1, 2, 3, 4. So ID has been given an integer type and title has been given as varchar. So varchar is basically variable character. It can include numbers or letters, right? And 100 means that the title can be of maximum 100 length. Let's look at the second statement. Insert into test ID title values 1 comma hello. Now it is very obvious that we are inserting data into the test table. We have to give which columns we are inserting the values into and what the values will be. So we are inserting 1 in ID column and hello in title column, right? Now third statement is the select statement. So select statement fetches the data for you. What it does is, if we have written select star from test, let's click on run. You can see here below that everything in the table has been fetched. So star basically fetches all the contents of a table. Now if I remove the star and write ID, so as expected we should be only getting IDs. Let's hit run. So since there was only one ID, so we got the ID. Let's try to copy this and insert one more value in this table. So we'll write ID as 23 and title as hacker. Okay, let's click on run. So we can see we selected the ID. Now we are getting both the IDs. Now similarly you can write title over here. We will get both the titles, that is hello and hacker. And again if we write star here, we receive all the data that is stored inside the table. Fine, so I think select statement is clear to you, right? Now next comes where clause. It is used for filtering the records. Now what does filter mean? Let's see by demo. So here what we will do is, after this statement has been written like select star from test, we can write where, okay, ID equal to 1 and hit run. So this acts as a filter. So it will fetch the record that has ID equal to 1. Now what I can do is I can select title also. So this is a very small table and a small database. Hence there is no point of filtering. But when there are very large databases in organizations, so this statement is widely used. For example, you are searching on Amazon. Now one logic can be that you entered ID equal to 1 and here they are taking the user input. So it will select that title from test where ID equal to the input you provided. So for example, let's say you give 1 in the front end. So that 1 is entered over here. Now let's see if we click on run what happens. We will get the output as the title filtered by this particular filter that we have applied. Like I said, it is similar to English language. Now if you read this complete statement, you will be able to interpret it completely. Now let's move to the third keyword. It is order by. Now it is used to sort the result set in ascending or descending order. That is pretty easy. So here we have given select title from test where id equal to 1. Now what we'll do first is that we'll add some more data so that this order by is clear to you. We'll write 2 and we'll write hello 2 over here. Let's add 2 or 3 more records. We'll add 100 over here and anything 40, and let's add one more. So these are the values that will be added into the database. Now to show you the result first. So first I'll remove everything and just write a normal statement so that you understand that what a normal output would be. So select star basically fetches everything from test table like I told you earlier, and now we have these many records. But here the problem that you can see is that these are not sorted properly, like not in ascending order or in descending order. So let's try to solve that problem. We'll use order by with a space in between, and then we will give id. Okay, let's see what happens. We'll click on run. So as you can see, id has been sorted into ascending order. By default, if we don't give anything, it is ascending order. However, if I give DESC with a space after id, now it will turn this into descending order, right? So it was pretty simple. Now it starts from 100, then 23, then 10. So greater to lower value. So this was the function of order by. The next thing we are looking at is the union operator. It is used to combine the result set of 2 or more select statements. So we'll see the demo for this to explain you better. Okay, so we'll remove 2 values so that it is not very messy. And what we'll do is we will create one more table, and here we will remain this thing as id and title as, and instead of title here we will give movie. Okay, so let's populate the table. What we'll do is we'll insert some values. The table name also needs to be changed. So we will give this table name as cybersec. Okay, and we will insert into cybersec what the values will be. Instead of title, we have renamed the column to movie over here. So we will give movie. And what will be the values? So we'll give any random values, 2, and let's give over here Avengers. We'll copy this and give this value as 100. And here let's give Sherlock. And let's see what happens. Okay, so we have an error. First of all, we have misspelled this. It will be cybersec. Now what we will do is let's try to run if everything is fine. Yes, so we are getting the output. It is fine. Now the main aim is to use union. Okay, so what we'll do is select star from test, and let's remove this. Union select star from cybersec, and let's see what happens. So you see both the tables have been combined with the union command, id and title. The thing about union is that columns should be same, right? And in place of 2 we can give anything. Let's give 150, and in place of 100 we can give as what should we give? Let's give 3 and see what the results are. So as you can see, both the tables have been combined together. Now if we want to sort this, you know what to do. We can do order by and let's give id. Click on run. So it has been sorted. So it was very simple. I hope you have learned this thing. So like I said before, the main aim of this tutorial was that when further we are learning SQL injections, you are clear that what we are doing, right? Because if I don't tell you this right now, you will be confused and you won't be able to understand what SQL injection is and how it is exploited. So if you want to learn the basics of any like HTML, PHP, SQL, whatever, you can learn it over there. Simply go to Google and type W3 schools followed by whatever you want to learn. So let's say you want to learn SQL, you can simply type W3 schools space SQL. Search it on Google and you will get the first result. So simply click that and you can learn those things. I hope from this tutorial you have learned SQL basics. Thank you for watching this tutorial.